Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
You know what's funny about your brother? Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua's a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's active.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt.
Jake Paul is once again caught in a whirlwind that could shake his entire career. Fresh claims suggest he may have orchestrated some of his biggest fights, including the blockbuster Netflix matchup against Anthony Joshua, with whispers even hinting that he and his brother might have faced legal consequences over these alleged schemes. Although promoters and officials maintain that professional fights can't be legally manipulated, skepticism about Paul's authenticity inside the ring is exploding across social media. Adding fuel to the fire is his checkered past, from legal run-ins to an FBI raid on his Calabasas estate. Now, with his boxing reputation hanging by a thread, the pressing question everyone is asking is, has Jake Paul's meteoric ascent finally hit a major roadblock?
Agents have raided the Southern California home of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for, that remains unclear. The federal search warrant has been sealed and no one is offering.
For years, countless boxing experts, ex-fighters, and promoters have raised doubts about the authenticity of Jake Paul's bouts, long before the latest buzz about potential arrests surfaced. Observers highlight his pattern of facing opponents well past their peak, matches with odd pacing, knockouts that arrive at convenient moments, and contracts allegedly packed with limiting clauses. All of this paints a picture suggesting that much of Paul's rapid ascent in boxing might have been carefully engineered rather than purely earned in the ring.
Because I've always been curious about this, because, like, you know, you saw the Askren fight, we saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that, like, Jake had these fights fixed, and there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not gonna take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You gonna pay me on all the money in the world?
Seasoned figures in the boxing world have long observed that, although Jake Paul generates massive hype and revenue, his matches frequently avoid genuine competitive danger. This pattern has fueled speculation that outcomes may be engineered more to safeguard his image than to reflect authentic skill. With each emerging controversy, the story gains momentum, reinforcing the idea that Paul's climb in boxing has leaned heavily on showmanship, leverage, and strategic control rather than the unfiltered, high-stakes challenge that true boxing demands.
Twice, if the Jake Paul fight was set up.
What happened to me is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? Let this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one. Like, that ain't enough money. For me to do that, I got to be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest it and fall off in the shade.
The showdown between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul initially made waves for its explosive action and unforgettable moments, but chatter about a leaked script implying the fight was staged spread like wildfire online. Supposed audio clips surfaced, sparking speculation that pivotal events, such as Tyson's seeming worn down before Paul's knockout win, might have been carefully choreographed instead of happening naturally.
In the United States is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like Jake Paul.
Following his victory over Mike Tyson, Jake Paul openly reflected on the match, claiming he barely got hit or hurt, suggesting he felt in full control and faced little real resistance. Supporters hailed his remarks as proof of his talent and readiness to take on iconic fighters. However, skeptics were swift to push back, pointing out the absence of genuine risk or tension in the fight and questioning whether Tyson's display made the bout truly competitive or credible.
Super Bowl.
Big as the Super Bowl. Big as the what?
Why was Mike wearing assless chaps though? Did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt.
I was seeing it
Why didn't he
while
have
I was
underwear
ringside. He had a G-string on, is what he had.
I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out, though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was crazy when we talked about this. I told him you were going to say some dumb shit. You did the right thing at the end.
Jake Paul's recent clash with Anthony Joshua faced comparable scrutiny, as analysts highlighted the glaring differences in experience, size, and boxing credentials. Observers often labeled the bout more of a showpiece than a legitimate sporting contest, emphasizing the odd mismatch and raising doubts about how authentic the fight truly appeared to dedicated boxing fans.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the bar knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on, and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
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 How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over when he...
Jake Paul is entering this upcoming fight with a strikingly bold confidence that has left even seasoned analysts surprised. Experts point out that he seems to truly believe in his capacity to rise to the occasion and claim victory. Unlike certain past bouts, Paul demonstrates sharp focus and unwavering determination, blending mental resilience with peak physical preparation. His mindset suggests he isn't taking the challenge lightly. Rather, he views it as an opportunity to showcase his skills and cement his place on the world stage.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami again.
Yet, Jake Paul's rising confidence has also drawn sharp scrutiny from veteran boxing analysts. Critics contend that his self-assurance in facing someone like Anthony Joshua borders on overconfidence, considering Joshua's vast experience, championship history, and proven stamina. A few commentators have even speculated whether Paul's physical condition and performance might be boosted by PEDs or other enhancements, intensifying doubts about whether he can truly compete at the sport's elite level.
Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe to...
Despite all the surrounding controversies, heavy betting activity is already underway for the Paul vs. Joshua showdown. Enthusiasts, casual gamblers, and even high-profile figures are placing wagers, adding fuel to the ongoing debate over whether this fight represents a genuine sporting contest or a spectacle crafted primarily for entertainment value.
So do you think it's going to be real, this fight? Do you think it's actually... So you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. You really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
There could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So we're
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some on, so it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking, what is he, 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's
so
that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do I think he's improved enough to be competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits, no.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there a world in which you see Jake Paul?
Amid the swirling claims of a leaked fight script, several boxers who stepped into the ring with Jake Paul have come under fire, with critics suggesting their legacies may have taken a hit. Supporters and observers alike speculated that even a legend like Mike Tyson risked tarnishing his reputation by taking part in a bout widely seen as potentially staged.
Versus Paul script was fully leaked all the way down to the bow Jake did in round 8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older script. This will give you goosebumps. I'm just going to read you parts, but if you want to see the full script, I'll show you it at the end. Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy. Subscribe if you want to read it yourself.
Throughout Jake Paul's fights, fans and analysts pointed out odd occurrences. Rumors surfaced of Tyson allegedly giving Paul whispered guidance, while referees seemed to direct him away from certain actions, raising eyebrows about possible scripting. Despite these whispers, Matchroom Boxing CEO Eddie Hearn stepped forward to dismiss the allegations, affirming that the upcoming Paul vs. Joshua bout would strictly adhere to professional Queensberry rules and not resemble a choreographed exhibition.
Paul versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing glove throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight. That should be enough proof.
Frank Smith has intensified the debate surrounding the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul clash, asserting that the fight leans more towards spectacle than genuine competition. He argued that the bout seems designed to thrill and surprise audiences rather than truly challenge the fighter's abilities, casting further doubt on its legitimacy as a contest. Smith also expressed excitement at the prospect of a Tyson Fury versus Joshua showdown, dubbing it the biggest fight to be made, while cautioning that boxing is rife with talk and logistical obstacles that could keep it from materializing by 2026.
People who say Anthony is ruining his legacy just by taking this fight. Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight? It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in there to knock out Jake Paul.
Sorry, just to silence all the doubters here, you know, a lot of people saying this can't be real, you know, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's going to it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua, just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, you know, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out.
you know, but we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this, and I don't think he quite realizes. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, you know, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but you know, if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury, and Turki Al Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to see in 2026. It's one of the biggest fights in the sport. And I'm very.
Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, weighed in on the scripting chatter, joking that the only script involved Joshua's strategy to take Paul down swiftly. He explained that the comment was intended to underline the fight's intensity and to put to rest any notions of a prearranged result. Still, the very need for Hearn to address the rumors publicly highlights just how intensely fans and the media are scrutinizing the bout's authenticity.
People can't speak, yeah, but it's obviously scripted, isn't it? I'm like, no. One, that's illegal. I mean, this is a professional contest. Two, we would never sign up to anything that's going to make AJ look bad or devalue him, lose rounds, go loads of rounds.
Do you think there's any world in which AJ pulls back, though?
No, absolutely. He couldn't do that as a fighter. He would be incapable of going in there and holding back. I mean, I think the only thing that's a bit harsh is if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first round, he should be ashamed of himself. Like, fine, give us two, like, or three. Because if Jake does move, he can look after himself. It's not like he's just going to get one shot round the...
So, is this the tipping point that could end Jake Paul's boxing journey, or just another controversy he'll recover from? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know what you think.
arm and go on the floor. He's a tough guy.
Do you think this is finally the end of the Jake Paul era? Or is this just another scandal he'll walk away from? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.